The return of the draft? Are you ready to fight?
As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game.
Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terri Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is April 22nd, 2026. And are y'all ready for the return of the draft? So about 6 weeks ago or so, I did this video, Will the Military Draft Return? Well, today the calls for the draft are increasing. Concerns regarding a potential U.S. military draft are increasing, driven by rising tensions in the Middle East and legislative actions aimed at modernizing the Selective Service system. While there is no current plan to initiate a draft, the following developments are shaping the conversation in 2026. Automatic registration, recruitment challenges, escalating fears, and selective service preparedness, and raising the enrollment age, the reenlistment age to 42 years old. When you type in military draft in your search bar today, Palantir wants to bring back the draft. Palantir backs return of U.S. military draft. Is there going to be a military draft in 2026? April 9th, 2026, automatic military draft registration takes effect in December. Here's how it would work. Young eligible men will be automatically registered for the military draft pool starting in December as part of a measure tucked into the annual defense policy bill Congress signed into law late last year. When you go to Selective Service System, SSS.gov, their update right now is there is no draft at present. So that must be where they're going to inform you of a draft.
The world is a stage. Did you all see what Palantir just said? Some of y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about, but they just released a manifesto. Oh yeah. And in this manifesto, they're calling for a national draft. Yeah. No more voluntary service to the military. And some of y'all are probably wondering, what's it matter? Well, they just so happen to be involved with the military. But I guess everything is A-okay. I guess everything is hunky-dory, right? Right? I guess that headline that came out recently where they talked about men automatically being registered for the draft, it's just all one big coincidence. Or maybe, just maybe, something big is about to happen here soon.
And a week ago, Trump called on U.S. automakers to start making weapons for war. The Trump administration has initiated discussions with top U.S. automakers, including General Motors and Ford, to explore producing weapons and military equipment to replenish supplies, according to reports from April 2026. This will be the first time since World War II that U.S. automakers have made weapons for U.S. defense, for war.
A mass surveillance company that has more than we have some news right now. Palantir, a mass surveillance company that has more than $2 billion in government contracts, just released a 22-point manifesto that includes universal service in the United States military for every American, essentially calling for mandatory service. We're going to go through this because it's setting off a lot of alarm bells, given how much power Palantir has within the current administration. Here are the first 6 points. Silicon Valley owes a moral debt to the country that made its rise possible. Number 2, we must rebel against the tyranny of the apps. Is the iPhone our greatest creative, if not crowning achievement as a civilization? 3, free email is not enough. 4, the limits of soft power or soaring rhetoric alone have been exposed. Requires hard power, and hard power in the century will be built on software, essentially mass surveillance. 5, the question is not whether AI weapons will be built, it is who will build them and for what purpose. Number 6, national service should be a universal duty. We should, as a society, seriously consider moving away from an all-volunteer force and only fight the next war if everyone shares in the risk and the cost. 7, if a U.S. Marine asks for a battle rifle, we should build it. 8, public servants need not be our priests. 9, we should show far more grace towards those who have subjected themselves to public life. 10, the cyclization of modern politics is leading us astray, and much more. You can read all 22 points on Palantir's website, but this is setting off alarm bells amongst folks who are saying, well, Palantir has a lot of sway with the Trump administration, and this manifesto, terrifying.
Palantir wants to bring back the draft. Should be universal duty. Palantir backs mandatory U.S. military draft in wartime, lists 22 reasons.
Disturbing news right now that you need to know about. Palantir, the AI mass surveillance company that helps the Trump administration track down people with ICE and bomb civilians in the Middle East. They're now calling for mandatory military service for all Americans, men and women alike, as part of a crazy new manifesto of guidelines for the Trump administration and future administrations. Folks, I'm about to break this entire thing down on my YouTube channel live, so tune in so we can dissect all of it. But let me show you a little bit about what they're saying. Here are some of the most dangerous statements they put out, including the limits of soft power of soaring rhetoric alone have been exposed. They're basically calling for more military power from the United States. Then it says, the question is not whether AI weapons will be built, it is who will build them and for what purpose. So we basically need to go into AI war now. They're also saying national service should be a universal duty. And then below me, they say, if a U.S. Marine asks for a better rifle, we should build it. And the same goes for software. This is only scratching the surface of what they're talking about. Again, I'm going to break it all down.
We have some news right now. Palantir, a mass surveillance company that has more than $2 billion in government contracts, just released a 22-point manifesto that includes universal service in the United States military for every American.
Who would have thought a company worth $350 billion, who paid effectively 0% in income tax and has $10 billion worth of military contracts, would be for the draft? Do you know who owns Palantir? Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He's in the Epstein files 2,700 times. There's emails about them meeting for lunch. Actually, Epstein was one of the biggest investors in Velar Ventures, the biggest, according to the Epstein files, which was owned by Peter Thiel. So I'm going to go through every single point, and we're going to talk about them.
Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me. Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down.
Sounds all rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people.
Does anybody remember what Congress was going to be doing this coming week? That now they're obviously not going to be doing because they're going to be getting briefs and updates and figuring out this whole situation. What was that? What was it? You guys remember? Does anybody remember what Congress...
Could the U.S. bring back the draft? Who would be called first and who qualifies? U.S. draft update. Palantir urges universal national service. Rob Schreiner says the U.S. must restore the military draft amid Iran war. These freedoms that we cherish do not come without cost. Enlistment age was raised to 42. Yes, as of April 20th, and if my memory is right, Guess what April 20th is? One guess? Guess what April 20th is? Hitler's birthday. Hitler was born April 20th, 1889. So I guess in celebration of Hitler, 420, April 20th, April is the fourth month, 20, take off the 0, 42. Enlistment age raised to 42 on Hitler's birthday. Yes, as of April 20th, 2026, the United States Army officially raised its maximum enlistment age to 42.
This is the first step to the draft. They don't have enough poor people willing to die for America, so they're asking service members who've previously served to return back to the military for 2 years of service. Their enticement or their deal is you get 2 years to serve instead of 4 years. They're not offering any money. They're not offering any tax exemption. They're not offering any free tuition for your children. They're not offering any free land. They're not offering any extra anything. But they need more poor people to die for America.
Update you on our efforts to reinstate those service members who were unjustly forced out of the military during the COVID-19 panic. While I'm proud of our efforts over the past year, our obligations to make things right are not yet complete. I'm therefore extending the application of the department's reinstatement and return to service guidance established last April. The revised guidance will now apply to former service members, our warriors of conscience, who wish to return to service through April 1st of 2027. So we're extending this to make sure anybody that wants to take advantage of it has additional time to take advantage of it. Maybe you were waiting to see whether we meant it or not. We do. We hope you'll take a look. To further encourage the return of experienced and dedicated service members, effective immediately, the active service obligation for individuals returning to service under this guidance is now reduced from 4 years to 2 years. And this change reflects our confidence that returning members will make an immediate and positive impact and aligns our reinstatement policy with the needs of both the service members and the military services. Maybe for some 4 years felt like too much, given what had been done to them. We hope, too, entices warriors of conscience to come back. This modification will be incorporated into all future reinstatement agreements. And this policy change also applies to those service members who have already been reinstated and committed to a 4-year service obligation. So it's across the board. And given this policy modification, and to ensure that everyone whose career was cut short under the COVID-19 vaccine mandate receives the respect they deserve, I direct the secretaries of the military departments, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, within 60 days, to once again recontact those who have not rejoined already and inform them of this new information and this new opportunity. We are working hard every single day. It's our commitment to you to right the wrongs and correct the injustices of the Biden administration.
When they don't have enough people to re-enlist in the military with previous military experience, they're going to reenact the draft.
U.S. Congress moves closer to making women register for the draft. Do you want to see where the morale is of the U.S. military currently in Iran?
We have some very serious developments this morning. Service members abroad have very low morale right now. Food is being rationed on various carrier strike groups and other military aircraft carriers in the region. Supplies are running low, and shipments have been suspended via UPS due to the war in Iran. Right now, families of service members are increasingly concerned because their sons and their daughters, who the United States government sent overseas, are being fed food that is expired or food that doesn't even exist in terms of no vegetables, no fruit, no fresh produce. At the same time, hygiene products are running low in many areas, and it's a very serious situation. And no matter what families here in the United States try to do, send packages, provide aid, it doesn't get to them. And it's a very serious situation. At the same time, overnight, House Republicans revolted against Speaker Mike Johnson over a FISA bill, a national security bill. I'm going to talk to you about that and what that means, because I've done a lot of research into FISA when I was a law student and a lawyer. Also, there's growing concern over Johnson's leadership concerning DHS funding. Because right now, service members are being served food that is unappetizing, food that is expired, food that doesn't include any fresh produce. Pictures from a mid-April dinner on the USS Abraham Lincoln shared by a service member with his family was unappetizing. A small boiled carrot, dry meat patty, and a gray slab of processed meat. That's what these service members are getting. Here is the image I showed you before. As you can see, it's pretty much an empty tray. It's pretty much an empty tray. And that meat, well, that meat isn't just unappetizing, and arguably, it's not edible. That slab of gray meat should not be given to humans.
Families of U.S. service members are raising alarms today about conditions for troops in the Middle East. Okay, so the war with Iran has disrupted shipping and air cargo across the region. Relatives of deployed service members say that their loved ones are dealing with food shortages, low hygiene supplies, and even major problems getting care packages. Reuters has reported that the conflict has stranded shipments, cut air cargo capacity to the Middle East, and forced some major delivery companies to scale back services. The Associated Press has also reported that the war is interrupting the flow of food and medicine across the entire region. So for military families, that is cause for growing fear about whether American service members are getting basic items they need while deployed. This is now becoming a bigger question for the Pentagon. If the United States can send troops into war zones but can't also guarantee them reliable food, mail, and basic care, that is a serious problem with apparently the greatest military in the world. Let me know what you guys' thoughts.
Do you know why? They raised the age of where you can get drafted to 42 years old in America. I hope you guys understand what that means. They've raised the age to 42. And here's the interesting part. They're still having trouble finding qualified candidates. Do you know why? This information came out the other day that the majority of Americans, a very high percentage of Americans, are overweight. They're on some type of medication, or they have health problems. So these individuals don't qualify to be a part of the military. They're basically saying that Americans right now, if you look at the soldiers and the humans from back in the 80s and 90s, look at their physique. Look at Americans back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Look at their physique. Look at their body. Look how in shape they were. Now go to the beach in 2026 in America, and you tell me what you see. Somebody do that. Somebody go find a picture of Americans, let's say 1960s, 1970s, on the beach, and then come back and compare that picture to a beach in 2026, and you tell me what you see. It's getting scary.
If you are under 42, you are about to get drafted. Here are 3 ways to legally dodge it. Due to a massive collapse in voluntary recruitment, the U.S. Army just quietly updated their protocols. Effective immediately, they are increasing the maximum enlistment age to 42 and eliminating waivers for marijuana convictions. They are mathematically out of bodies. But you cannot simply refuse. Dodging the draft is a federal felony, carrying 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. So here is how you legally get out. Number 1. The 4F medical exemption. You need documented proof of a severe physical or psychological disqualification. Number 2. The 3A hardship deferment. You must prove your deployment would cause extreme financial ruin to your dependents. Number 3. The 1O conscientious objector. You must prove a deep, long-standing moral or religious objection to all war. This is the most viable option for the average civilian, but you cannot pre-register for it. Once your specific draft number is called, you must immediately file a formal claim with the Selective Service. You will then have to appear before a local board with a written dossier proving your ethical opposition to all conflicts. Start documenting your anti-war stance now. But look on the bright side. With the combat age bumped to 42, the Army can finally draft LeBron James to save the day.
These are legit pictures of what the sailors in the Middle East are having to eat right now based on supply chain breakdowns. It started off with steak and lobster, and now it's down to this.
The enticements, steak and lobster, and now garbage.
These are legit pictures of what the sailors in the Middle East are having to eat right now based on supply chain breakdowns. It started off with steak and lobster, and now it's down to this. This is fucking atrocious. This war is bullshit. It's being fought for another country, and our soldiers deserve better.
Bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
So does Palantir work for Israel since they're wanting to draft Americans? Yes, Palantir technology works directly with Israel, having entered a strategic partnership with the Israeli Ministry of Defense in January 2024 to support war-related missions. So now Palantir's out there trying to draft people for the war. The same Palantir that works for Israel that Trump tapped to create a master database on every single American. Watch what Palantir does.
The system is maintaining a dossier of your travel habits, your health records, what bedroom you sleep, what rooms you occupy in your home, what is your activities of daily living, what music do you like, who is registered in your cell phone directory, who is registered in your email directory, what browser searches do you follow, what is your driving record, what is your DNA? You'll have a DNA dossier. Your DNA will become your molecular MAC address, your media access control for neuromodulation to tether you to the cloud. They will have a whole file for under precision medicine for your DNA. And your DNA is essentially your plastic tag for a dairy cow on the air is your DNA. Palantir will have a copy of your molecular MAC address and your income tax filing, your bank statements, your mortgage information, all of that's going to be zeroed out by the year 2030. You may have $100 million in broker account. It will be turned into zero, and you'll be given a social credit score. And our entire money system will be flipped to a hyperledger system known as central bank digital currency or cryptocurrency.
What else is Palantir involved in? This is from the Washington Post. How Palantir shifted course to play a key role in ICE deportations. So they're helping round up people, bring them to detention facilities. All the ways Palantir is assisting Trump's abusive removal campaign. How culpable is the company for the constitutional and human rights violations of deportation? Palantir. There's been a lot of coverage of the technology company Palantir recently and its roles in providing tools to facilitate the violence, lawlessness, and human rights violations of Trump's war on immigrants. Until they use that technology on draft dodgers. ICE to use immigration operating system by Palantir, a new AI system to track immigrants' movements U.S. draft update, Palantir urges universal national service. And are they going to locate the people that are dodging it since they spy on everybody? Trump has Palantir create national database. Y'all remember that? Trump taps Palantir to compile data on all Americans. Reports indicate that Trump's administration has engaged data mining firm Palantir Technologies, co-founded by supporter Peter Thiel, to create a centralized, searchable, and nationwide database on all of personal information of all Americans. And so the man that's creating all of the searchable databases on all Americans that works with Israel is also called the shadow president of Donald Trump. The same people that say they kill people. So will they track down dissenters? Will they track down draft dodgers?
Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We've dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner.
We hope you're in favor of us killing people. We hope you're in favor of us killing people.
To scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner. And we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing. Thank you for your time.
Are you ready to fight?
If you have flat feet, I'm sorry, you are cooked. You're going to World War III. If you have autism, congratulations, you are safe from World War III. If you have anemia, you are cooked. You're going to World War III. They have iron pills. If you have bone spurs, you are safe. You're not going to World War III. If you have bad knees, but you're online doing squats, you are cooked. You're going to World War III. If you have scoliosis, you are not going to World War III. If you are overweight, I am sorry, you are cooked. Unless you weigh above 241 pounds, you are going to the battlefield. And if you're below 127 pounds, you are safe. If you are a nurse, you are half cooked. Unless enough nurses volunteer, you are going to World War III. We need healers. If you refuse to get drafted, you are cooked. You will go to prison for 5 years in Mine Rock. So if World War III only lasts 6 months, you need to weigh your options. If you have bipolar, congratulations, you are not going to World War III. They don't know whose side you're going to be on. If you got $250K in the bank, you are safe from World War III. You just got to pay a fine and you get to stay. If you are over 6'8" or below 4'11", congratulations, you are safe from World War III. If you have PTSD, you are safe from World War III. And if you are blind in one eye, you are half cooked. They might just give you a monocle, like for part 3.
We are in crazy times. But Jesus said in the last days there'd be wars and rumors of wars. It says that the Antichrist will be a man of war, that he will go forth conquering. The return of the draft. Are you ready to fight? I'm showing all of these things so that people will not be taken unaware. I've got one son who's a Marine. I've got sons that are in the draft age. I think everybody that has children between 18 and 40 years old needs to understand what is being plotted on behalf of governments. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?